Okay, too easy. Ruben, a fantastic start, but that must be a really sort of gut-wrenching result given where you were 20 minutes into the game.
Yeah, mate. Not the finish we wanted, that's for sure. The start of the game, I think the boys showed that they executed a game plan really well. I felt we were a little bit unlucky in terms of the two penalties, obviously, to get us back to 2-2. So, yeah, very frustrating, mate. At the end of the game, there, you're looking at a squad with 8 or 9, NPL youth team players that have played for me all last year, and that type of inexperience and naivety, shone through in the end. But again, super proud of their effort and their mentality to come here away from home, after playing midweek, travelling twice across the country in the last 7 or 8 days, with a squad with 12 or 13, players out injured on the injury table. We lost one back at the hotel before the game with tight hamstrings. So in the end, my message is kind of similar. I'm really proud of their effort. I'm proud of the way they went about their business, but I'm obviously, bitterly disappointed, not to get something out of that game, because I think we did enough to take something.
How do you go about keeping the guys' spirits up? I mean, it's been well known how long it's been since the team won, and you've had sort of there was that gut-wrenching loss to Wellington, then a sort of hard-fought draw against the Jets where Jack Duncan was sort of saving everything, and then you've got this result. How do you make sure that it doesn't get too much for the lads?
Look, I think, to be honest, it was too much for some of the lads, before I got the job. You've only got to go back a week and a half, 2 weeks before I was in the position, and we were at home playing the team coming second last, and the boys rolled over and lost 4-1, and that's 11v11. So, since then, we go away to Wellington, we come back into the game at 1-1, and then, we get a man sent off. We fight fight tooth and nail with a young squad to still try and win that game, and end up conceding in the 98th minute. We then go back to Perth, and we go toe-to-toe with the youngest ever team that Perth Glory's ever put out in an A-League game, and hold them scoreless, and like you say, had chances to win it. And then we travel away again with one training session with, 8 or 9 of my NPL boys mixed in with whatever's left standing. And, they did well enough to get up 2-0 away from home, and, bar some accidental handballs that get MacArthur back in the game. When the red card happens in that match, we then look to go and win it. And I said this, I've been saying this for the last 2 weeks. I'm the type of coach to roll my sleeves up and play to win. And we're not going to sit back, on our haunches and try and see out the game and take a point. We're rock bottom, and I want my players to know that we always play to win. And it's just a little bit disappointing that people probably can't see the enormity of the situation and the task at hand with the squad that we've got at the moment.
Yeah, just on one of those young fellas, Trent Osler, he's obviously got a real story behind getting him to this point. I think he's had a couple of knee recos and stuff like that. It's not the result you want, but it's a pretty special day for him to get that first goal on his first start, and I think it's his 20th birthday as well. So
yeah, it's that'll be a bittersweet night for him, that's for sure. Again, like I said last week about Trent, extremely proud of where he is, considering what he's been through and where he's come from. But again, like, we're starting the game away from home with 2 boys on their starting debut, and I think that speaks volumes for the situation in which we're in. And on Trent, I thought he was fantastic tonight. He was outstanding, and he really showed his quality. So I'm very happy for him. But obviously, like the rest of the boys down there, he's hurting and he's disappointed that we didn't win the game.
And just finally for me, mate, Bruno, apparently he's come back from the Socceroos camp with an ankle knock. Is it a bad one, or are you expecting him back soonish, or what's the situation there?
When it rains, it pours, eh? Yeah, we send away our leading goal scorer, and he comes back, and he's now unavailable with an ankle injury. But, those are the type of things that happen, when you're down the bottom of the ladder. Those type of knocks keep coming. And, as an interim manager here at the moment, my focus is firmly on the long term of this club, and trying to blood as many young players in as we can at the end of this season, and focus on the ones that we do have, and not worry too much about the ones that we don't. And I'm going to continue on that path resolutely and keep putting my belief into my young men.
Too easy. Thanks, Ruben.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Nick, any questions from you?
Yeah, a couple. G'day, Ruben.
G'day, mate.
You touched pretty much there, didn't you? Inexperience, naivety, and the experience of the Bulls really took it to you in the end.
Yeah, I mean, and full credit to MacArthur. You know, you can see straight away what Ante's doing there with the substitutions and putting pace on in those wide areas, defending in a deep block. And, you know, we're getting the message out, you know, to the boys, be careful of the pace, be careful of the transition moment. It's one thing giving the guys the information. It's another thing for, you know, a player like Josh Rawlins, 17 years old, you know, who's playing his second full game in the space of 4 days. It's another thing for him to be able to go out and execute it under fatigue. So, you know, all credit to them as well in front of their home fans. You know, they really hung in there in long periods in the game, and then, you know, they were clever in transition, and their experience shone through. So, you know, credit to them. But I'm also not going to give it easy to my players as well. You know, for me, that's not good enough. You know, no matter what the age, no matter what the experience, I'm not going to coach those moments. So those boys will have to sit there and watch that back, and they'll have to learn quickly, and we'll just move forwards.
You said you lost one of the players at the hotel. Who was that, and how did that happen?
Oh, just, you know, Bert Gilroy's travelled over with us obviously to play, but his hamstring was just so tight. He was unfit to play in the end, so we've had to change our lineup last minute and tinker again. But that's something that in the last 2 weeks I'm getting all too familiar with.
Yeah, and obviously Andy Keir didn't travel. You were hopeful there. Did you mentioned Bruno? Do you know how long you might lose him for?
Bruno at this stage, he'll get reviewed by our medical staff. He flew back, I think yesterday, back into Perth. So he was here in Sydney. He was supposed to meet us here. He's gone back over to Perth. I'm not sure, you know, the length of his injury. He'll get assessed, and then we'll get the report back and see where he's at. But he won't be available this week, that's for sure.
Right, and the young fella, Vecchio, I think is how you pronounce it, was he a late call-up? Has he been training with you, or do you have to pull him out of the NPL squad at the last minute?
He's a last-minute.com player, mate, for us at the moment. But, you know, I say that I was extremely proud of him as well. He's a player that's spent a lot of time with me in the NPL dressing rooms, and you know, I think he was one of 9 players from my team last year to be a part of the squad tonight. And, you know, his effort was there for everyone to see. His pride in the jersey was there for everyone to see. Again, probably lacking a little bit of fitness at this level, and it showed, and a little bit naive in moments. But, you know, couldn't be prouder of bringing those boys. And those boys go out there. They go out there to win. And again, it's a huge ask what we're actually doing at the moment, to travel, you know, midweek and go back and travel again, not have time to train, and then send those boys out there. And again, it's also frustrating for the experienced ones in our team that then have to try and carry those youngsters through the game. So, you know, I'll stand by my players. I thought tonight, you know, they did really well in moments, and we just lacked that quality and experience to get us a result. But certainly a bright future for the club with so many youngsters being involved.
Sure. So has he actually trained with you before?
Yes, he's trained with us. Yep, he's trained with A-League. Most of the boys, you know, we keep a bit of an extended squad, especially through COVID. So, you know, he's had moments on the first team training pitch, you know, over the last few months, and he's done enough to earn the call up. He was next in line after, you know, 13 or 14 guys out. So he's next in line, and he got his opportunity, and I'm sure he'll learn a lot and take a lot from it.
Okay, mate. Thanks. See you back in Perth, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.